I'm 25 years old and caught my wife, a 25-year-old woman, cheating. I need some help processing this and figuring out what to do. So, a little backstory. I've known my wife since we were about 13 years old. We were never really close, but we eventually became close by chance. We started dating when we were 16 and got married at 21. That's way too young. People might say, what life experience do you even have to get married at 21? If this were 60 or 70 years ago, we could discuss it. But nowadays, getting married that young seems irrational. We now have 2 children together. Our son is 5 and our daughter is 3. Now it makes sense why we got married so young. I am the sole provider for our family and earn a decent income, enough to live comfortably, support my family, save money, and take vacations. However, many young women don't just want financial stability. They desire much more than that. Towards the end of last year, I was going through personal struggles and was laid off from work for about a month due to some issues at my workplace. During that time, I searched for another job, relaxed a little, caught up with friends, and drank occasionally, not excessively, just at night after the kids were asleep. My wife and I had arguments about it. By November, I had secured my current job. Due to my work schedule, I had to wake up very early on New Year's Day. So, I went to my parents' house to watch the fireworks. My kids fell asleep early, and my wife decided to stay the night and planned to return the next day. Oh, she was staying overnight and coming back the next day? I couldn't stay because of work, so I left around 12:30 a.m. However, she didn't come home until 3 days later. That's when I started feeling like something was off. A couple of weeks passed, and one night, when I got home late from work, everyone was already asleep. As I walked past the kitchen after kissing my kids goodnight, I noticed her phone screen light up. I checked her phone and saw unusual notifications, so I decided to dig deeper. A lot of guys say they shouldn't have done that, but you know what? Where there's smoke, there's fire. She had created a new social media account under a fake name and was chatting with another man. There you have it. The classic move of making a secret account on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, or whatever platform they use these days. As I scrolled further through messages, I saw that she had been talking to him throughout December. And this wasn't just an ordinary friendly conversation. She was calling him babe and expressing how much she missed him. She wanted to be with him, claimed she loved him, but referred to me as her ex. I was furious. I even saw that on New Year's Day, right after I left, she had messaged him, "Happy New Year, babe. I love you so much." And this is exactly why you take years to truly get to know someone. This is why you don't rush into marriage at 21. Even if the woman is pregnant. This is one of the many, many reasons you shouldn't do what I did. Unfortunately, I was young and probably received terrible advice. According to their messages, they had fights about jealousy and eventually had to break up. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this guy is just a random stranger from another country. I confronted her about it as the new year began. She apologized with all the typical nonsense you would expect. Like an idiot, I forgave her, but the trust was completely shattered. Slap. Once a cheater, always a cheater. If she thinks she's going to stop, no. But at the end of the day, I loved her. I've had girlfriend before, but I've never loved anyone else. In other words, she knows she has me wrapped around her little finger. I literally grew up with her, got married, started a family, everything, so I forgave her. Fast forward to February, that same uneasy feeling returned. So I started digging again. And guess what? I found out she was talking to another guy on Snapchat. Once a cheater, always a cheater. She told him she was single, had no kids, and was 21 years old. The guy was 20, lived on the other side of the country, and was another complete stranger. At first, I thought, maybe this isn't that bad. So I decided to wait until the next day. Smack. No, you confront her right then and there. And that's when I saw another chat. In this one, she told him how badly they wanted to be together and how much they desired to be intimate. I won't go into details, but their messages were explicit. She even sent him pictures of herself in lingerie. I confronted her again. She swore she would stop talking to him and block him everywhere. This is like Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football. Lucy always told Charlie Brown, "Come kick the football." He'd run up, and at the last second, she'd pull it away. He'd fall flat on his back. And then she'd convince him to do it again. And again. And like a fool, Charlie Brown kept believing her. That's exactly what's happening here with me and my wife. The next day, I had to leave for a few days because of work, so I couldn't do much about it immediately. Before I left, I asked her if she had blocked him. She swore she did. I got home, and while I was talking to her, telling her how much this had infuriated me and how my trust in her was completely shattered because of her betrayal, he messaged her again. Oh, so she never blocked him. I was furious. I told her I wanted a divorce and that I was done with her. I couldn't stay with someone who constantly lies. She didn't seem too bothered by it, but she didn't want me to leave for the sake of the kids. Then I messaged him, and when she found out, she started crying. Not because she felt guilty for betraying me, but because he was angry at her for lying to him. Oh, so she's upset because her little online lover is mad at her, not because she's repeatedly cheating on her husband. This just shows where her priorities truly are. She told me that she loves me, but she's not in love with me. Well, clearly, her actions prove there's no love there at all. But that's what cheaters always say. We have 2 kids together, and as ridiculous as it sounds, I'm still in love with her. Smack! Dude, this is your problem. I came back home after a month because I felt bad for my kids. But even now, she's still messaging him. She keeps insisting that she's not sending him pictures or anything like that. But at this point, there's no trust left. I don't even know what we are anymore. Technically, we're still married, but how can I stay with someone like this? I still love her, but I can't be with someone like this. And I don't want my kids to suffer because of what their mother has done. Any advice would be appreciated. I feel trapped, and this is mentally and emotionally destroying me. How can someone claim to love you but be perfectly fine with seeing you sad and hurt just so they can talk to another guy they've never even met? Simple, she doesn't love you. She's immature, got married too young, had kids too young, and now this is a result. But a lot of men just don't understand this. They hold on to the good memories and can't accept that a woman's feelings can change in an instant if they were ever real to begin with. What this guy needs to do is let her go. She's 25 years old, and he can definitely move on from this. Yes, it'll be painful, but it is what it is. And the kids? They can't grow up in a toxic household like this. Because if they do, they'll see their parents constantly fighting, unhappy and miserable. And guaranteed, at least one of them will end up in a bad relationship just like this. You don't want that. So, take the hit, find a good lawyer, and move on. But whatever you do, do not stay with her. That's a terrible idea. Kick her to the curb.